So, Gator, you looked at me with a perplexed look on your face when I asked NASCAR guy for the history of North Wilkesboro, the track.
Yeah, I was like, where are you going with it?
Yeah. So I was going somewhere. It wasn't just sort of a random, let's interview Mike, the NASCAR fan. I've talked about going back to old stadiums as part of I think it'd be a fun trip back in time. And it'd be cool for everybody involved, whether you were there or not, obviously. And I've talked about the Detroit Stars Negro League team. I've got one for Michigan State, and a Detroit team. The Detroit Stars Negro League team played at Hamtramck Stadium, and it's still standing. I think it'd be so cool if the Tigers went back and played a game there. And it's tiny, it's small, but that's not the point. It just brings more attention to the Negro League team that played here in Detroit, which baseball really does a good job of paying homage to that era of the game, Major League Baseball now. It'd be a throwback. It would be really cool. And I've only seen pictures of the place. I imagine it would take a lot of refurbishment to make it Major League quality.
Probably millions and millions of dollars.
Probably millions of dollars. But I love the thought of doing that, going back and playing in that old ballpark. I think it'd be an awesome gesture and bring a lot of attention to an era long gone. That's one. Two is Michigan State basketball go play a game in Jenison Fieldhouse. I think that would be awesome. Old school.
Springy floor.
Yeah, it's a very springy floor.
Players all of a sudden add 5 inches to their vertical leap.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah.
And three is, how about Michigan basketball go play a game at Yost Ice Arena? Great old barn. They used to play basketball there. You could just, how many places put a basketball court over ice? It can be done. I don't know. I've always had these thoughts of go back to these old school places just once.
Just once?
Just once.
Just get it done. Just one time. One time.
I mean, costs, of course, are the biggest. These things aren't cheap. You don't just refurbish an entire stadium and suddenly make it Major League caliber. I mean, that historic Hamtramck Stadium, I imagine would need a lot of work. But these things have been kicking around in my head. So when I saw the NASCAR race was back at North Wilkesboro, and back when I worked at 1050 and had to do 3 races, 3 shows every race weekend from out at the track, I learned a lot more about NASCAR than I ever imagined. And North Wilkesboro was one of those tracks that was in use back then. And so I kind of had heard the name.
Yeah, the problem with this is obviously trying to think of places that are old that are still around.
Yep.
And locally, it's not easy. I mean, you've found a way to do it with both Michigan and Michigan State, with Jenison and Yost. That would be interesting for sure, and could easily happen. You could easily make that happen. And for Michigan State, I mean, go play at Jenison, have one of those early exhibition games there. Why not?
248-539-9797. I'm just looking at some pictures of this Hamtramck field, too. It looks like it's in great shape. Now, when this picture was taken, I don't know.
Is this where the soccer stadium is?
I think it's really close to where DCFC plays. But anyway, just a thought. Let's get back to your open line calls. We go to D in Detroit. You're next. What's up, D?
DK.
Hey.
Gator Kane, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, before I get to my point, I went to Sonic's and had that smasher burger Gator.
Yeah.
Bro, you talk about top of the line. It was hot and juicy, and the cheese and the special sauce. Hey, bro, that was the best burger I done had in a while. And I'm so mad now because it's a damn shame. There's another in Warren, Roseville, Centerline, Detroit, downtown Detroit. Can we get a Sonic's to spread its wings, bro? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a damn good burger, man. I was impressed.
Gator, now you know.
I listen. Smash burgers are great. Love smash burgers. You know, you just
gotta be
get
Sonic
that thin
still.
patty.
No
It's got to be
butterfly.
Sonic. He says. Okay, I
Gotta
haven't
be
had it.
Sonic's.
I said last week or the week before. I'm afraid of ordering at Sonic because there's like no menu.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's that you can't go. It's a drive-in place or drive-through place, and it feels like I don't know. I've only been there once or twice, and I just get overwhelmed because I feel like you have to know what you're ordering before you get there. I need to look at it for a while.
You got to watch the commercial, Gator. You got to watch the commercials, bro. They hype you up with the commercials alone. Now let me get to my point, homie.
I'll start watching some TV then.
Okay. Hey. Now, when Ben Johnson left, man, I'm not going to lie. I was shaking on needles and pins, bro. I was worried, like, man, this offense just might not be the same. But after hearing Coach John Morton speak over the weekend, my confidence in this offense is back where it was, bro. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as good as it was, but I don't think it's going to fall off that much, as far as points per game and being creative. So I just want to say, bro, I'm feeling real good about Coach Morton and his philosophies and what he got planned. And he kept saying, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, in all his statements. So that told me this man has a plan, bro. Super Bowl or bust. Love the show, fellas.
So, you know what? The one thing, there's a lot of angst, and I get it. The coordinator's being changed for the Lions. The guy that hired the coordinators, I mean, it's Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. They're going to know some people. They're going to have a chance to go out and get guys that let's just say this. Were they shocked they lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? Of course not.
Not even a little.
Had they started to compile a list of people they wanted, and given that they've done a great job building a staff in the first place, sure, you'd like to build a powerhouse staff and keep them together forever, but they had time to prepare for this. I'm reasonably optimistic that people who have made some really good decisions will continue to make really good decisions, talking about Holmes and Dan Campbell. I think they're going to continue making really good decisions.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. The time was right for those guys to get those jobs, and you knew it was going to happen. It was inevitable. When you have success like this is what happens.
Yep.
With successful teams. I know it's hard to think that's where we're at as Lions fans or Lions as an organization, but this is going to continue going on. Not only are they going to be plucking coaches to become head coaches, they're going to take assistant coaches to become coordinators. We've already started to see that.
Another takeaway from that call is I'm totally on board with D's food reviews. If he's gonna like try stuff and call up and review it for us, D, I'm on board with that. Are you okay with that?
I mean, you're not gonna have a smash burger. But...
Oh no, but I like listening to him talk.
Can you do a smash turkey burger?
I've tried.
Or does it just fall apart?
I suspect that there are better ways to do it. I got to do some research on that. But I like the concept. Outside on the griddle. Yeah.
Well, you do have one.
I do have one.
And you do make turkey burgers.
Let's go to Rich in Shelby Township here next. Hello, Rich.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
We're great, thank you.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Caller D's like Jules from Pulp Fiction. That is one tasty burger.
That is.
Two quick things before I get to my champ and chump. First of all, thank God that referee's okay from last night. He got clipped just over the eye, and they took care of him, and it didn't hit him in the eye with the stick. I don't know if you guys watched the game or not.
That was scary. That was scary.
It was. There was all that blood on the ice. It's amazing that officials don't get hurt more,
Yeah, and I mean that was the blade of the stick got underneath the visor and clipped him. It looked like it was just above the eye. I didn't hear anything that said like it was his eye, but it looked like it was maybe just above it. He bled a lot. I mean, that was a lot of blood. That's a lot of watermelon slush out there on the ice.
Yeah, it's too bad caller Tony wasn't in Toronto last night. He might have been able to help the Leafs win the game. So
I'm okay. I'm okay with the result.
Me too. My champ is Spencer Torkelson. The Tigers are doing obviously great this year, and Spencer's just turned everything around, and everything. And just like I think you pointed out, Gator, he's got one less home run than he did all of last year.
No, he's got one more than he had all last year.
Oh, one more. Okay. And same thing with the RBIs and stuff. So, and the chump is Toronto. And I do want to get to the Mitch Marner point too. Toronto being the chump for losing. They were up 2-0 and actually up 3-1 in game 3. And they lost in overtime and stuff like that. And I know everybody's on the Mitch Marner train right now, but the player that I want, and I talked with Kenny last week, we had a little disagreement on it. I'd like to see Sam Bennett here. He's the same age. He's 28. He's got more goals in the playoffs. He's played like 10 more playoff games and stuff, but I think he could help Larkin be a true leader. I don't think Marner coming in here would help in the leadership role that I think Sam Bennett would. And then Neil Pionk, I believe he played for Winnipeg this year. He's a free agent. He's a big kid too and stuff. So I'd like to see that's my choice is Sam Bennett.
So interesting you say that because I got happened as we're having the discussion, got my phone buzz. I looked down. It was a hockey guy who's, let's just say he knows what he's talking about. He told me Sam Bennett. He said Sam Bennett is the kind of guy that's tough to play against. That'd be a cheaper option that would make the Red Wings better, and he is available.
And he's a playoff performer. He's got, I looked up his stats compared to Marner's stats. They're kind of similar. Marner's like an assist hero. He doesn't have the goal scoring. And in the series against Florida, he had 1 goal, and I think it was 3 assists. And the 1 goal he had was in the first game.
Thank you for the phone call.
Yeah. I mean, Mitch Marner's a point-a-game guy, and he's not a big goal scorer. He's going to score 25 to 30 goals. But what he's also going to do is dish out 60 assists. So you're getting twice the production out of that than you would from Sam Bennett. I like Sam Bennett too, but Sam Bennett's coming off his best season, where he had 51 points this past year, and it's nice. But I worry about Sam Bennett. Does he end up being the next guy? Is he the next Comfer? Is he the next Cop? Veteran players that you bring in,
kind of
that are at this point of their career where maybe if they should be the prime years at age 28, but. Is this the best he can be? Is 51 points, 25 goals? I'll take 25 goals. I'll take 51 points, and I like the intangibles he brings, but I don't know if that's enough. I mean, if that's an addition to Marner, absolutely, but I don't know if they can sign both.
97.1 The Ticket.